Hello everybody. Today we're going to be painting up this cocoa mug, and this is with multi-surface enamel paints. And then at the very end, I'm going to give you a little quick tutorial on how to bake it so it'll be washable. So I'm using enamel paints. I have evergreen, shimmering silver, and some cherry frost along with the white, and this ceramic mug. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to clean your surfaces really well with some alcohol and a nice clean rag. I do suggest that you wear gloves when you paint with enamels for two reasons. One, you want to keep any oils from your hands off of the surface, and number two, enamel paint is really hard to get off the skin. So I'm balancing the mug, trying to get an even level spot so that I can pick out where I want to start my center dot. I don't like to use grids and stuff, so I just kind of eyeball it. And I do that by getting my mug as level as I can, and then putting my hands on each side, starting at the handle and the side, and just pulling them up to the center. And I'm going to use this right here. I'm using the flat end of an 8mm crochet hook. I purchased these off of Amazon. I'll put the link down below. They are also available at Walmart, Joann Fabric, any place like that. I'm making sure that my paint is settled right in the middle of my tool, so I'll be assured of getting a nice even round dot. So I've done that with the white enamel. Now I want to put 8 smaller dots all the way around, and I'm going to start by putting my first 4, north, south, east, and west. And you can see that the bottom one, I'm not too happy with the way it's lined up with the top one. So right off the bat here, I'm going to show you how to clean enamel paint. Now, first of all, enamel paint dries pretty quickly, so you're better off waiting. And I'll show you that in a little bit. But right now, what I'm showing you is when you potential mess you can make if it's wet. With a Q-tip, you can see that I've kind of smeared it a little bit, and I'm using a toothpick to go around and even out that inner circle. If you don't get it really clean, it'll leave like a haze, and that'll stay forever. So you don't want to do that. That'll get baked right in. And now I'm just continuing on and putting 4 more dots. So now I have 8. This is a 4mm crochet hook, and I'm going to start by putting 4 white dots between every other dot from the row below, from the first row. And then when I've done that, I'm going to come back and add 4 more. So I'll have a total of 8. Now I want to walk some dots down from the top to the middle, in between each of these dots here. And I don't think ahead when I'm painting. What you see me doing is as I go. I'm never pre-planned. So I started out by doing the 4 on the right, and then I decided to come back on the left. The only problem is they're not matching up. And my first thought was to go ahead and clean everything off and fix it. And then I said, no, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. No one's going to know except me and you. So here we are. Now with a 5mm crochet hook, I'm going to come in and place 4 large dots in between every other set from the row below. I'm showing you there. I want you to leave you want to leave a little bit of space at the top for the lip line. You don't want to put the paint all the way up to the lip. The paint is non-toxic, but it is not food safe. So just be careful and keep about half of an inch clear. All right, now that I've put that first dot above the large one, I'm just bringing some little chubby little swishes down, and I'm doing it kind of slowly because I do want them to stay chubby and very close to the dot. So I have my paint and I'm just bringing it down very close in to the row below. And I'm doing that on both sides. So this is the 4mm crochet hook, and I'm coming back, and in between those larger ones, I'm putting 4 more little dots. Now again, I'm just walking some dots down here. I'm doing both sides. And when I finish with that row, I'm going to do a second row right on top of it. And while I'm doing that, I would very much appreciate it if you would reach down and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you can be notified when I put another video up or not, your choice. You can make the decision there. And then give me a thumbs up, a like, share my video, and questions and comments, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll answer you. So now I have those done. I am going in between with a small tool and just putting a little white dot in between the first row. It was just looking a little too bare for me, so I went in and put some little extra dots. So now I think that these white dots here on the end just sticking out like that were just a little plain, a little blah. So I just decided to give them some little tentacles. And again, I'm watching out. I want to be careful about the lip line. Now we're going to get into some swishes. So I'm going to do a swish on the right hand side of those double rowed walk dots that we just did. And I'm bringing it down to meet the swoosh from the little chubby swoosh from the dot below. And I'm going to do both sides. Okay, this swoosh I did, you probably noticed before that it was kind of, I don't know, angular, and I didn't particularly care for it. So what I have here is a toothpick, and the paint is dry. You can see it's dry, but it's not baked on yet. So I came back with my toothpick and I picked it off. You can see that it's coming off easily, but a lot cleaner. Coming back now with the Q-tip, and you can see that I dipped it into a little bit of liquid in my palette there. That's alcohol. And because the rest of that painting is dry from before, it can be a little freer. And not worry about smearing the paint because it's dry. Before, when it was wet, the Q-tip would have just picked it up and smeared it all over the place. This works much better. So my advice is to wait until it's dry. And now I'm just going to replace that swoosh. So now I'm adding a series of swishes in between each of these little V's here. And let me tell you that I had to cut out an awful lot of film because I was so confused where I was going that I'm not even going to try to explain it to you. Just take a look and see, see what I did. Now inside of that last little swoosh, I'm just walking a couple of dots down inside. I've had enough of swooshes for right now. Actually, I think this is the end of the swooshes on this mug. We're going to start doing some detailing. I'm going to get to the fun stuff now. Okay, with the shimmering silver, we're going to do some snowflakes. Snowflakes are supposed to have 6 little arms sticking out of them, but mine have 8, so they're either snowflakes or stars. But anyway, I put the main dot in the center, and then I count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, top and bottom, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 off to the side, and then the last 4, I put 2. You can see what I'm doing there. And that is my snowflake star. I added a few more. If you want to make them look a little bit different, you can just add some extra paint at the tip. I'm going to speed this up because I'm just doing top dots, and you all know how to do top dots, so you can just basically watch what I'm doing. And you can pick your own color combinations. You do as I do as you like to do. So while we're watching this, I'm going to start talking about the baking of these items. Now, a couple of days ago, last week or whatever, I had some items that were sitting around waiting to be baked for a long time. So I did them and I took some pictures and a little bit of film, and it's not great, but it'll give you an idea anyway. So the Folk Art and the DecoArt multi-surface and enamel paint say to wait an hour before baking. I wait a lot longer than that. I usually end up waiting. Actually, the stuff that I'm going to show you in my oven that I baked last week was probably over a year. It's just been sitting around. I had no reason to do anything with it. Let me quickly just say over here, I'm just doing some top dotting. I did some little wispies, and a top dot on top of a top dot. So anyway, okay, so they recommend an hour. I do at least a couple of days to a week, but it's up to you. Put them on a cookie sheet. I line mine with parchment paper, and then put it in a cold oven. Close the door, and then turn your oven on to preheat to 350. Once the timer goes off that it's preheated, set the timer to bake for 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, when that's done, don't open the door, just shut your oven off and leave it alone. Go away for a little while. Go have dinner, which is what I did. And then when you come back, you open your door and your stuff is ready for you. And of course, I don't always know when to stop. I went back and forth a few times, adding the white dot, taking off the white center dot. But in the end, this is what I ended up with. Sometimes these enamel paints or multi-surface paints will dry with little peaks on them, especially if your paint is a little bit thick. And it might leave a little wet paint underneath. So I let mine dry for a couple of days. Then I'll take an acrylic rod or some kind of something round, and I'll just press and push down those little points until they're no longer little points. And that has worked very well for me. Now these are washable, hand washable, even top rack dishwashable. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And until next time, thank you for watching. Take care. Be good. Bye-bye.